So I've been asked a question by Tom, which is, do I think this would be more difficult 2 or 3 years ago for us, or now, or in 2 or 3 years? Is it better to be bigger or smaller in this situation? And I think there are different benefits for each one. I think if you're a very big company, you likely will have the resources, the funds, the connections with banks, all these sorts of things. If you're a smaller business, you're more likely to get wiped out from a cash flow point of view. However, from a pivoting and a profitability point of view, I think it's much better to be a small business than a big business. Big businesses have got huge overheads, massive offices. They're still paying for them, but they're not getting any benefit from it. So I think from a medium-term point of view, I'd want to be as small as possible, because the smaller you are, the easier it is to pivot.
I think a big part of it is overheads. Those are the big things that have affected lots of businesses already. 2 years ago we had much smaller overheads. We had a smaller office in Paul Street where we had a capacity of maybe 40 rather than the capacity of 120. We didn't have an international office. Less responsibilities, less people relying on us to make the right decision. Now we also had far fewer solidified clients, so I think it works both ways for us. We're in a position now, because of our relationships with those clients, that we plan ahead a lot better than potentially we could have 2 years ago, where it was far more as and when. 2 years ago also we're far more in sport. Obviously sport's been hit incredibly hard, and the percentage of the work that we did across the board was much higher in sport 2 years ago than it is now. So yeah, I think if this had hit us 2 years ago, we'd have been in real trouble.
Unless you're lucky enough that your business was suited to this, which very few people were, and the ones that were would be, things that were virtual and digital based. But other than that, I think you're going to be able to pivot a lot easier if you've got a smaller business, less overheads, etc. So I think big businesses will find it easier in the short term, harder in the medium term. Small businesses are going to find it extremely difficult in the short term, probably see the opportunity quicker than the bigger corporates around them.
One thing that I really hope will come from this whole situation is brands getting a better realization of the quality of content that influencers can create.
I think I've actually seen some of the best content that's ever come out of Goat since I've been here. I think that's down to a few things. I think one of which is the briefs that we're getting from brands, is that brands are kind of be able to help people at home to keep the kids busy, or your mind and your body healthy, and ways to do that.
We've actually been doing this on our Tesco campaign. Everyone's in the same situation, everyone's stuck at home, and parents are really building upon the community that they have even more.
Some of the content that I've seen has been super creative, really taken the time to kind of get that message across.
I follow a lot of videographers and photographers, the likes of Ian Harper and Peter McKinnon, who create really high quality content from their homes and have been doing for many years. So hopefully this will get the opportunity for them to get to work with brands who usually would use production companies but don't have access to them now. And they can now use these influencers to create just as good quality content that they would have got from the production houses.
From a brand point of view, the sentiment and the results that we've seen of it have been fantastic. I've seen a few posts from the campaigns that I've been running that have had engagement rates that are sort of north of 30%, which is kind of unheard of. So it's almost one of the best times to get involved in this type of activity, and especially from the results that we're getting and the content that we're seeing, it's definitely showing that. So whilst things are getting cancelled, people can't go outside, this is the activity that needs to be done now.
Can you say you're listening to Radio Chatterbox on...
You're listening to Radio Chatterbox at 95.2 FM right in the air, so take care and listen to us.
I would tune in. I would definitely tune in.